Vault is one of those ranked maps that can get complicated very fast if not played correctly. 1 second you run out excited, the next you're 0 for 2 in control. But maybe it doesn't even have to be that complex. I've spent hours playing and studying this map, so that way when you see that vault map in the corner of the screen, you can already image your rank and SR increasing in your brain. Now the first thing we're gonna go over before we go over anything else is gonna be the spawns. That's the first thing on this list because I think the spawns are the most important thing, and the spawns is probably something people but people struggle with a lot and overlook. So we're gonna start off with the hardpoint spawns. I'm gonna go over the hardpoint spawns and the control spawns for vault, but first we're starting off with the hardpoint spawns. All right, now as y'all might know, the maps have main spawns and they got alternate spawns for whenever somebody watching spawn, but we're gonna start with the main spawn. One team gonna spawn here. All right, this is the main spawn, this whole side. You can either spawn here, you can spawn right here, you can like in this back area or in this center area, and then you can spawn over here. And then you can also spawn back here, like over here. This is where P2 is, the second hard point. You can spawn back here. These are the 3 spawns, the main spawns where people are gonna spawn. So you already know if you play ranked and you're a high enough level, you already know, okay, say if like they back here, they sitting right here, they blocking this spawn, they're gonna spawn over there, they're gonna spawn over there. You get how that works. If you don't, then you got to check out a spawns video, or you're gonna have to go to my Patreon. It's gonna be linked in the description below. I go over all this in detail. I make very, very detailed and easy to understand videos, and it's gonna get you so much better. It's gonna make you actually want to play the game, because I know we love playing the game when we doing good. So if you go over there, I promise you're gonna be on this game every day. You're not gonna want to get off because you're gonna be so good. Ain't nobody gonna be able to beat you. But anyways, that's the main spawn for over here. This is the first team. You might spawn over here, you might not, but let me show you the other spawn. Now this is the other spawn right here. This is where P4 is. This is where the other team will spawn. This is the main spawn for the other team. Back here, top or bottom, you know, or you can spawn over here. What the flip? Like you spawn in this area right here. This is the main spawn. Say the hard point here, right? Because they gonna try and spawn you as close to the hard point as possible. So you will spawn, say the hard point here, that's P1 hard point. You're gonna spawn here. Only way you won't spawn here is if somebody's blocking it. So say somebody like over here, they sitting or whatever, then you're gonna start spawning over there. If they blocking these two, I'm gonna show you what's gonna happen when they block those 2 spawns. Make sure you guys be blocking spawns. Like, take all this knowledge and really try and implement it. Like say I'm sitting right here, then no one can't spawn here. No one's not gonna spawn here when I'm sitting here. If I'm sitting over here, now if I'm sitting here and watching here and then watching here, or a better position will be like over here. That way I can cut them off, because they gonna try and go through here. But you always want to be trying to block that spawn off. Make sure you don't spawn here. But yeah, this is where you're gonna spawn. You're trying to spawn as close as the thing as possible. That's how the game works. Now you might be like, what happens when the spawns are blocked? Let's say blue spawn over here. We're gonna call this blue spawn. And then the other spawn over there, we're gonna call that red spawn. Actually, forget the colors, bro. That's too much. But look, this is the first spawn. Say both of the main spawns are blocked, right? Teammates over here. They got the teammates on the other side. You can't even spawn. All right, this is what you're gonna do. Then you're gonna start spawning over here. They're gonna spawn you over here in this area, but they're gonna spawn you here in this little area. I would say colors to like keep it more, you know, in your mind, but colors is just gonna confuse it more. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. This is the next spot. This is the alternate spot. This is where you will spawn. So say the enemy team, they over there, they watching this area, they watching all over there, can't spawn there. And then they back there in that little area. So they blocking both of the spawns, both of the main spawns. Then you're gonna start spawning here in this area right here, because you can't really be seen unless they come out and then smack you still. That's if they know the spawns. That's why if you get in hard point and you notice how you just spawn trap, it's like you can't even move. It's because they know the spawns very, very well and they know how to trap you. So this is the alternate spawn. Now I'm gonna show y'all the last resort spawn, bro. The last resort spawn is the spawn you're gonna spawn if they blocking everything. Like you gotta, let's say they back here. I don't know who gonna do this, but they back here, they watching here. Somebody over there, 2 people over there, then got 2 people over there. They just watching every type of spawn. Now the last resort spawn, I'm gonna show you right now. Back over to this area, bro. Now you're not gonna spawn this middle area. The last resort spawn is gonna be back here, basically. Back here. Basically, this is where the first spawn is, the main spawn. But they don't have nowhere else to put you, so they just gonna have to put you in the main spawn right here, or on the other side next to over there at the pool, like where I showed y'all earlier behind the P2 area. They're not gonna spawn you in the middle though. These are the last resort spawns. Please keep this all in mind. I don't care how many times you gotta keep watching this video until you can nail it into your head. Just keep this in mind, bro. I'm trying to make this as simple. Notice I'm not using no visuals or none of that because I want to show y'all in the actual game what it look like. Now off the P2 hardpoint 2, that's when the hardpoint gonna be in here. I'm gonna go over every hardpoint, bro. I don't care how long this video is. We gonna be in here and y'all gonna learn today. Boom. Next hardpoint right here. All right. So main spawn gonna be back here at the tank. This is the main spawn for this area. This is the main spawn right here. You will spawn right here. One of the teams will spawn right here at least. People are gonna spawn here no matter what, bro. The team will spawn here no matter what, unless it's being blocked, of course. This is the spawn. Then you can also spawn right here in this area. This spawn right here. This is the main spawn. Boom. So this is where the team is gonna spawn no matter what. Just keep that in mind. Now, if that's being blocked though, that's when you're gonna spawn right here. Look, let me show you. I'm gonna run over, no cuts. I'm gonna run over. Then you start spawning here in this area. Boom. Start spawning up here too. You can in this whole area right here, bro. That's where you're gonna spawn. You're gonna start spawning here. That's why you see on this little, whenever like somebody over there, you see people like to get on this little head glitch trying to shoot them across there. You know how I get if you played Vault before. But yeah, this is the spawn right here. Now look, man, this is now say both of those are blocked, right? Then you start spawning here. You will spawn here or you will spawn here. Right here or right there. That's if both of those spawns is blocked. Tank is blocked. This area right here is blocked. Like I just showed y'all, that's blocked. You will spawn here. You spawn here. Now say all three of those spawns are blocked. Then you will start spawning back here. Where you can spawn back here. I'm not saying that you will, but you can spawn right here. Literally next to the P2, next to the hardpoint right here. You can spawn right here. Now say if everything is blocked, you got the last resort. Let me show you, bro. You gonna start spawning right here. It's so random, but this is what happened, bro. They will spawn you over here, bro. They will spawn you in this area. Now most times that's not gonna happen, but just keep that in mind that that's what happens, just in case you and your team might spawn trap. Keep in mind that this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna start spawning in this area as the last resort for P2. Now main spawns P3. P3 is gonna be right here in this little area. This is a weird area, but you know, very difficult to break this spawn if you don't know what you're doing, because people be all up here. They be doing a lot when it comes to this spawn. All right, so one team spawn over here. One team gonna spawn in this area. Spawn in here too. They can also spawn. That same team can also spawn over here. They can spawn over here. The other team main spawn is gonna be over here in this area right here, or they might legit just spawn like on the hill, like right here or something. It's hardpoint a bit tricky. Say this team who's spawning here, they push up over here and start blocking these spawns. They block this spawn. They block their main spawn, which is right here, over here. They block this. Now you will start spawning like this. You will start spawning in here, or you gonna spawn back here, bro. That's if they block that side. This only works for this side, bro. So the team from the other side, if that makes sense, the team from the other side that's not spawning here, say they push up and block the two main spawns that's here. Then you will start spawning back here or like up there somewhere, in here somewhere. But now if all of that is blocked, then you will just spawn over there behind tank, like by tank over there. Now the last and final hard point is gonna be in here. This is the last and final hard point right here. Now right here, the main spawn is gonna be for this side at least. It's gonna be back here. It's gonna be over here. Or it's gonna be in here. But this is the main spawn. This is where they will always like spawn, unless this get blocked and they over there, and then you know how that goes. The other team will spawn over here and pool, or they will spawn up here. This is the main spawn. They will spawn like in here and stuff, all in this area, you know. And they might come out through here. They're coming out through here. Just keep in mind of the spawns and the common route that they will come out. Everything still applies, like I've been teaching y'all. If y'all want to know how to like strategies on how to block these spawns, you are going to have to go on the Patreon. I'm gonna share some stuff over there. All you gotta do is go over there and ask me, all right, look, this is the video we're looking for. We want to see how I can efficiently block the spawns and strategies on how to do it. And I will post the video. I respond to all members on there. I'm telling you, bro, you actually get to communicate with me. And if you're a tier 2 member, you get to even do one-on-one coaching. I'm gonna see your gameplay, and then we're gonna see what's happening, but we're gonna get to the root of the problem, and you can become a better player. All right, but say both of the main spawns are blocked, you will spawn here, or you spawn here. This is what you call the hall. You will spawn over here. Those are the two areas you will spawn when both that spawn and the one behind back there, that's what you call garden, that's blocked too. Then you will spawn here. You spawn here, like in this area. Now all of them, if you all of them are blocked, then you're gonna spawn back here behind P2, behind the second hard point. Now on to perhaps probably a more difficult game mode, control. Control is very tricky for most players. Most players, they get in control, they don't even know what's happening, bro. Hardpoint is kind of easy to understand. We're playing hardpoint for who knows how long, but not everybody been playing control. Control is very hard to understand, so I'm gonna need y'all to really listen up and really focus up when I go over this. Now the 3 offense spawns. All right, offense spawns. Make sure you hear what I'm saying. So this is gonna be the main spawns. All right, so boom, right here, this is a spawn. Back tank over there, that's a spawn. And then once again, we're gonna come over to our little spot over here. This is spawn 2. These are the main spawns. Now say if like the defense team, they push up and they block this spawn, then you will spawn over here in P2, this area right here. You will spawn over here again. Or if they push over here, then they will spawn, or you will spawn. It depends on who's on the offense team. If they push over there, P2, then you're gonna spawn over there. The tank spawn, that's really like the main spawn, I guess you could say. But this is where you're going to spawn. If you over here and there's like 3 people, or like, let's be realistic, like 2 people, they rush up, they block in this area, then be expecting to spawn over here and be expecting that they're gonna be over there and be blocking the spawn. And yeah, you can work off that. Like I said on the Patreon, I'm gonna go over on how to do this specifically. I just noticed my sound ain't on, but you get what I'm saying. All right, now let me go into that a little bit here, bro. Let's say you on a defensive team. Let's make this like start from the beginning. Let's say you're on a defensive team. So that means the enemies are spawning just how I just said, right? And then let's say your team, or like some of y'all push up over here and y'all like start coming over here, right? But then at the same time, you have like other teammates, they over here, right? And they coming on this side too. So basically both of these spawns are blocked. Then they will begin to spawn like the tank area, like I said earlier. All right, but let's say, okay, for example, if somebody over here in this area, right, they die, like it's like 2 people, or 2 people, yeah, 2 people, right? So like one of them die, so now it's 1 person here and then 2 people over there, right? So now the game is going to spawn you here because it's like somebody died here. So it's going like it makes more sense, even though there's 1 god, and it's you know how it goes. It's gonna pull you over here because it seems more safer. But same thing vice versa. If teammates over there die, then they're gonna spawn over there, not over there. They're gonna spawn over here if the teammates on this side. So whatever side they die on, that's why it's important to watch the kill feed. But I'm gonna go into more on that on the Patreon, bro. More on that on the Patreon. But the thing you don't want to do is just back spawn, bro. You don't want to be blocking this spawn, that spawn, and then this spawn. Because if you're blocking all 3 points, the enemies are going to spawn somewhere random in the map, and it's most likely going to spawn them like in the middle. And that's where like the one of the objectives is, like over here, this area. You know how it be like down there. You know how the objectives be. You don't want them randomly spawning next to the objectives and stuff, because that's gonna just sell you the game. So don't do that. Now when it comes to the other team, right, there are 4 spawns in the back right here. We got back, middle garden right here, of course. We got back over here. You know, you remember this spawn. You got in here, and then you got over here in this area, this little area right here that I'm standing at. Now the default spawn is always gonna be right here. This will be the spawn like most of the time. Like you will always spawn right here unless they just push up. Say you're on this team and then the enemy team, they push up and they kind of like manipulate these spawns. Then this is probably gonna vary from, you know, the 4 I just showed you. But most of the time you will spawn right here. Now let me show y'all something real quick. Let me learn y'all something real quick. If an enemy from the other team, which is the offense team, manages to get like over here in this area, then you will spawn like mid garden. When I say mid garden, this is gonna be back here in the middle area, the middle back spawn. Remember I showed y'all the 4 spawns. This is the spawn you're gonna spawn if somebody, you know, in that area I just showed y'all. But let's say the offense team manages to get in this area, this little building, then that's when your team is going to spawn over here in this area, like this far right side, left side, whatever you want to say, over here. Basically they're gonna spawn over here in that little 4th spawn I showed y'all. To make it make a little bit more sense, they're basically trying to spawn you the furthest away from the enemy team that's pushing up. Now like I said, you can spawn in this little building. I'm gonna call this like art because there's a lot of art here. You can spawn here because, yeah, if you spawn here, keep in mind the reason that you spawn there is because the defense team, or my fault, the offense team, which is the team spawning over here, is basically pushed back. Like, let me show y'all. So, say there's a line in the middle. Just imagine a line in the middle. Say the offense team right here, they're not pushed past this line. That means you will spawn in art. That's just how that works. Well, it can open the spawn for art. I should say that. I mean, you gonna spawn there, but if you spawn there, keep in mind that means that mostly the offense team or the enemy team, they're not really pushed up that much. So just keep that in mind. All right, now that I kind of went over all the spawns and stuff, I don't really have much to say about the spawns. Just keep in mind, bro, the spawns is probably the most important thing ever. That's why majority of the video, we 18 minutes in the video at least right now until I edit it. And we mostly have talked about spawns because that is what's most important, bro. When you know the spawns, bro, people gonna start to think you hacking, bro. That's why you know, if you ever been called a hacker, it's probably because you know spawns very well. It look like you know exactly where they're gonna be because you can estimate the common routes, estimate exactly where they're gonna be at all times. It's literally like you hack almost. You just know the game so well, it feel like you hacking. All you gotta do is set yourself up in the correct position to where you can kill them, and it's very hard for them to kill you. And how you gonna lose, bro? But now I'm gonna show y'all like kind of how to work the spawns with you and your teammates. I guess you can call this one of the strategies. That's what I'm gonna go over next for control, because Hardpoint is very self-explanatory. If you know how to play the game a little bit, then you gonna know Hardpoint. I guess if you're on ranked, then you know how to play the game a little bit, else why you on ranked. I don't know. Should I show this on the map, bro? All right, let's show this on the map. All right, okay, I'm gonna get into one of the positions so that way y'all can like understand better. So right here, this is a good position. Remember, it's 4 teammates, right? So one of y'all is gonna be standing right here. Say I'm standing right here. Now I got 3 teammates. One of them should probably be standing in this area right here. There's some cover right here for them to take cover. Stand in this area. I might even put some little visuals up on the screen so y'all can better see it. So I got one teammate there. I'm here. Get another teammate to stand like right here in this pool area, like in this area right here. And then the last teammate over here. This is gonna block the spawn. All right, it's gonna block the spawn and force them to spawn right here on the tank. Like I said, just watch the lane for the tank. Don't push up in through here. Don't make sure your teammates don't push up through here. Don't even look. Don't really look right there. Like kind of just sit right here, let them spawn, shoot them, and then look away. Like don't look at it because it's gonna block the spawn. Even though it's like behind the tank, you don't want to take no risk. Because remember, bro, they will spawn anywhere on this map. I can't tell you where the spawn is, bro. It's not a guaranteed spawn every time. If you got this blocked off like this, they will spawn randomly. Most likely they'll spawn by the objective, and we don't want that, so don't do that. Now another way y'all can have y'all team position, once again, you right here or whoever, so make sure somebody in this area, and then have a teammate, you know, here, like in this little area. Make sure they not watching here though, just watching over here to make sure they just trapped. Now this is for, mind you, bro, this is for if you on the defensive side. So you already got the objective. If you're on the offensive side, don't try and do no stupid stuff like this. Of course, that wouldn't even make sense, but like, you know, you get what I'm saying. Defensive side, this is for strategies for defensive side. So teammate right here, and then you probably have a teammate up here, and then up here. Have a teammate here, up here on the second level, watching, you know, this little area, and then have a teammate here, and then you be here or whatever. That's how I will position my team in order to properly spawn trap. If we're on the defense team, that's how you should do it. That's what y'all should practice. Y'all should go in private match and try and practice this if y'all can. Practice your coordination, and then y'all get in a real game and then do it there. Now something else I'm willing to show y'all, since y'all on defense team, I got all the strategies for defense team. I'm gonna show y'all probably a few more strategies in a second though. So you coming out of the spawn, you see I got a frag, right? I saw this off a YouTube short. Shout out Lunchtime, I think his name was. He showed me this in the YouTube short. Probably seen it before, you probably not. But if you come out this spawn and you throw the nade and you line it up directly with that hand, you gotta jump with it though. This the part that everybody mess up. They don't be jumping with the thing. It's gonna go right over, right in through here. It's gonna go through one of these windows. It's gonna drop down and it's gonna blow them up. So that way, if the team push through here, it's gonna blow them up. It might even catch them through here. That's just how it works. You can not only do this on you don't have to only do this on control. You can do this on hardpoint, search and destroy. Even on this video, I'm not really going over search and destroy because yeah, it's not a respawn game mode. These are the ones that's most common, and these are the ones that you should really nail down on and learn. Search and destroy is really, it's like Rainbow. You just gotta set up defense team. you know how to play search and destroy, right? If you don't, you gotta just look up a video on how to do that. But I'm not going over there. I'm trying to teach y'all what y'all need to know, so that way y'all can evolve, because I know my supporters, they getting better every day. So it's gonna get to a point to where I'm gonna start teaching stuff to where you might get left behind, so you might have to go back and watch the old videos. Now on control, once again, I'm gonna give y'all a strategy for control since we already on this. It's probably the last thing on the list when it comes to mastering control. What you want to do is, for one, you want to have somebody come out. This is for if you on the other team. If you on the offensive side, you want to have a team come out. You want to have a teammate get over here. Got to be a good teammate. Don't send nobody trash into the spawn trying to spawn trap. Get somebody who has gun game, who knows how to work the spawns. Get them to go over here. Get in this building or get in that building and try and keep them in a spawn. So basically how I work is I stay up here, let them come out, shoot them, stay back here. Remember, if I'm over here, that means they gonna spawn in this back area. They gonna spawn over there. Keep everything I told you in mind. If I'm over here, this building, keep in mind, if I'm in this building, that means they gonna spawn over there. So all I gotta do is work this. I know they not gonna spawn at this main spawn. They're not gonna spawn this middle spawn. They're gonna spawn most likely over there every time. I'm telling y'all how to work it, but it's the strategy I would use. So basically, since I'm the one who knows the spawns like this, they most likely send me over to go do this mission for them. And I would sit over here and do it. You can go in that building too, but you know, I would just stick in this building because I know how to work it better like that. But say you do want to go over to the other building, right? If I'm sitting here, this means that they gonna spawn in the main spawn. Like that area, like I told y'all, they gonna spawn there most of the time. That's where they gonna spawn. So where they gonna run out through? They gonna run out through here. They gonna run out through there. They might even try and come in here. But that's when you can have another teammate. I remember there's only 4 teammates or 4 people on the team. So you can have one probably sitting right here in the corner watching this back area, make sure you don't get snuck. And then I'm up here, you know, I'm just up here watching everything. They really can't do much. They can't do much. Vice versa on the other side too. But you know, I'm keeping track of everything. All right, I'm keeping track of everything. I'm never gonna give y'all a self-sabotaging strategy. So if you in here, remember, you in this building, right? That means they're gonna spawn in this back area, right? But let's say B is like the only objective. I don't know why that fool just left the party. Let's say B is the only objective, right? B is the only objective, which is in this area. This is B over here. If you in there, that means the enemy gonna spawn there. That means they get closer to B. They could probably navigate themselves. They run through here. They run through this building, navigate themselves to move over here before getting shot, and then move cover to cover. Now they gonna be, and then yeah, it's not really a good. Remember, you on the offensive team, so they on the defensive team. But you don't want them getting to B if this is the last objective, so that setup doesn't really work. So when they are like that, that's when you want to sit in this building. Have you and then somebody else in this building. Watching back door, same setup, bro. It's just on this building. That's when B is the only objective. You want to do this. You really want to do this when B is the only objective, so that way they can't get to B. They can't run through here because you're gonna smoke them. They can't run behind here because you're gonna smoke them. They can't run out here, period, point blank, because you're gonna smoke them. What they gonna do? Run all the way around and then try it? Like, who's doing all that, bro? They gonna lose, because at the end of the day, they gotta come through over here and you're just gonna kill them. Simple. But just remember that if you in this building, they will spawn in this area over there, and behind this building, they will spawn over there to the farthest point. So that means, like, it'd be nice to have like a teammate there. Say it's 2 people in here. I got my teammate back there. I'm up here. And then I put a teammate like over this way. I put a teammate over this way, so that way they can't push up. Now they really trapped. They just can't do nothing. They can't do nothing at this point. Now you blocking all this, you can finally capture B. You can capture B, and then you're gonna be straight. Because remember, this is a strategy for the offensive side if you're trying to spawn trap the defensive side. So you got to capture the objective. But I believe that is the strategies, all the strategies I got for y'all today when it comes to Vault in rank, because I'm mostly going off rank. Just keep this stuff in mind. I mostly went into depth on control because hardpoint is very, like, it's easy. Most people understand hardpoint, but I want to go in depth on control. I want to go in depth on what y'all need help with, and I know control is something that y'all can use a lot of help with. So just keep all the stuff I taught you, keep all the stuff in mind. If you gotta write notes, write notes. Hey, do what you gotta do so that way you can remember it, so that way you can go in the game and be confident next time and have a strategy. Now, when it comes to all the teammate placement, all that's gonna come with if you have a party or if you communicating with your team in the game. You can't really do that if it's just random teammates. Y'all got no communication. They don't really know how to play. Then it might be a bit awful. But just keep all that stuff in mind. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, if it was very helpful, subscribe to this channel. I'm gonna start posting stuff like this all the time. I'm gonna start posting detailed explanation videos, but most of those videos are on Patreon. So if you want to take your skill to the next level, go over there. Like I've been saying all video. Over there, bro, I helped so many people get nukes. People that went from negative KDs to 3-4 KDs that they never even imagined getting. I'm telling you, bro, it is true. It is real. You don't have to reverse boost. I don't teach none of that. I teach you how to do it in skill-based matchmaking lobbies. Because for all of y'all who say, oh, it's impossible to get a nuke without reverse boosting, it's possible to get a double nuke without reverse boosting. Now, triple nuke, I don't know about that, but I've gotten nukes and double nukes before without reverse boosting. It is very possible, and I can teach you how to do that, and you can feel so much more happier when you play the game if you go subscribe to my Patreon. I'm telling you, you will not waste your time whatsoever. It's 100% worth it. I wish I had something like this back in the day when I was breaking all them controllers and I was raging. I was trying to get them nukes. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know. I learned all this stuff through basically experience of just playing the game. That's why, you know, it probably took longer than it should have to get good at the game. But now y'all don't have to do that. It could be like people that say, oh, I got my first nuke in 1 week after, 2 weeks after subscribing to your Patreon. It is just great. Mind you, y'all gave me the recommendation for it. I didn't even think of doing that. Y'all gave me the recommendation and it helped so many people. So I thank y'all for that. Go subscribe to it if you want to take your skill all the way up. I promise you, you won't waste time, you won't waste money. It will be completely worth it. Or if you're interested in seeing my previous video on XPermZ breaking down his gameplay and finding out why everyone hate him, why he was cheating, or why, like, what was up with his gameplay, because everyone's saying it was suspicious. If you want to find out the secret to what he does, how he does it, then go click on this video right here.